Good. How you doing?
Good.
Speed.
Rolling.
All right. I guess starting with Last of the Mohicans and going on to Heat and Ali, your films you've been working with a epic tapestry,
Right.
so to speak. This film is much more, how do you say, intimate, I guess.
Compressed.
Compressed.
Yeah. I loved it. I exactly what I wanted to do after I'd finished Ali, and I said, what I want to do next, and what kind of film? I said, well, I don't know what film it is, but I started seeing it. Boy, I would love to make a motion picture that was based in LA, it had genre elements in it, that had massive compression, in the sense that it was under 2 hours, so that when if I'm doing something, it has a big effect in a short duration, and it had contemporary music in it. So I was literally, and it came down to one of two screenplays, both of which were the same, all night in L.A. and under 2 hours, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't want to work in a 2 hour and 45 frame. I wanted to work in that, because it becomes like a Formula One car. You put a little bit of input in, and it has a massive reaction. And you can only get that when you're in the poetry of that intensity of a smaller time, shorter film.
I guess you've worked with the
So you asked one little question. I used up half your time.
Huge answer.
Right. Okay.
You've worked with like the top names in the business, and you've been exposed to a number of different working methods. What are your impressions from a director's standpoint of working with Tom Cruise?
Well, every actor is completely, totally different. There is no such thing as they come from a certain school. Every actor, I have to, my director-to-actor language is completely unique and different for every single actor I talk to, because Val Kilmer works differently than Tom Cruise, than Jamie Foxx, than Al Pacino, De Niro, or Daniel Day-Lewis. Everybody works completely differently, and it's this, they're all the same in a sense that all these people that you're talking about are all highly committed, very ambitious, very artistically ambitious, as am I. So we're all both, we're usually a relationship where two people are very aggressively trying to get to a defined point in space, that's difficult to get to. And that's very much the case with Tom, because Tom's a very committed guy. And if I say, Tom, be there at 9, he'll be there at 10 to 9. Let's go. We need to work harder on this. He's there. And I love that. I'm the same way about it. And so is Jamie. So except Jamie has facilities that are unique, because his background isn't in acting. It's in everything from classical music to stand-up comedy. So Jamie's really kind of a one-off. But Tom is courageous, artistically a courageous, ambitious actor, meaning he will take that step, and it's like someone trying to hit a high E note on a violin. If you get there, it's beautiful, and if you miss it a little bit, and so a lot of actors, when you miss, Al Pacino defined this for me one time, a lot of actors, when you miss, they get scared, so they back away. So it's only actors with courage who are prepared to go all the way out there. And of course, there's some takes that aren't good, but so what? You move on, And that's what distinguishes Tom. Go ahead and ask another question. Go ahead and give some long answers.
So many of your films, like Thief, Manhunter, Heat, are set at night. And your Miami Vice, of course. What attracts you to setting your stories at night?
Well, think about it. I mean, the world becomes a lot more thematic, because the sky, instead of my landscape that my characters are moving through, being something flat that got laid down on the planet Earth with the whole of the open sky, it's like you're in a room suddenly. There's a lid on everything. So then the city becomes less of a flat plane, then it becomes like a three-dimensional machine that you're moving through. And kind of like a rat inside of a three-dimensional machine. That was the metaphor about Thief, and that's why I shot as much at night time as I could, so that you felt that Frank was like this. He moved through the city as if the city was a three-dimensional construction, not a layer on a flat ground, and it's much more atmospheric. It's moodier. And I can take the mood and shape it to be one thing or another thing. It's take Koreatown and the neon in Koreatown and those lights, and it becomes this transcendental kind of an experience where you're moving through a foreign culture to a disco where they're playing Ready, Steady, Go in Korean, and I just find that fascinating. It's islands of people who are totally dedicated to doing the thing that they're doing, which have nothing to do with our characters, except our characters wind up in there. That's what's unique about it. It's kind of uniquely LA.
Thanks again.
All right, thanks.
It's great meeting you.